Hello, guys. Hello, students. Welcome to today's class. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the causes of poor listening and how to eliminate them. On our previous class, we looked at the three aspects of the process of listening. We also defined what listening was, and today we also looked at what the components of listening are. Today we are going to talk about the causes of poor listening and how to eliminate them. How would we eliminate what causes poor listening? So, the objectives of today's class are that by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to state and explain the causes of poor listening. The learner should also be able to explain the ways of reducing them. So, the first, we are going to start with what makes listening difficult. The first thing is the speaker. The speaker may make listening very difficult. Let's say, for example, if the speaker uses a low voice while speaking and the audience is very big. Let's say, for example, uh, the speaker is talking to maybe an audience of 200 students and the voice is very low. The speaker is not very audible. That means that the person at the back or the people at the back will not be able to hear him or her, and that will make listening very difficult. Another one is the listener. This is whereby if the listener is not able to avoid distractions, the listener will not be able to listen. The other thing is the content. Whatever is being tried to be communicated, if uh it's not using the simple language that is maybe being able to be digested or understood by everyone, it will make listening very difficult. And even the supporting materials. Let's go to the speaker. Okay, the speaker, those related to the speaker are the number of speakers talking. We should be having only one speaker at a time speaking. So if we have many speakers speaking at the same time, there will be difficulty in listening. Another thing is the speaker's accent, whereby some listeners tend to concentrate on the accent of the speaker, therefore missing out on the important information. The other thing is the speaker's audibility, as I was explaining. If the speaker is not audible enough, the listeners at the back will be easily distracted, and others may even sleep. Another thing is the speaker's speed. The speaker should make sure that he or she does not speak very fast, so that the listeners may easily grab the content and even make the notes. So another thing that makes, or the other factor that makes listening difficult is the listener. So those who listen to the listener are the listener's interest in the subject. Listeners will pay attention to interesting topics and even contribute to them. If they are not interested with the topic of discussion, they won't even pay attention to what the speaker is trying to communicate. The listeners' participation. If the listeners participate in the discussion, they will easily remember what was taught. Another thing is the listeners' concentration. Different listeners have different concentration spans, and we've seen that if the listener is distracted, it means that the listener will not be concentrating on what the speaker is trying to communicate. So, on the content, the vocabulary, as I was trying to explain, don't overuse heavy vocabulary. It's not all the time that the audience you're trying to talk to is very educated, or let me say is that literate. So like when you use heavy vocabularies, some will miss out on some information. So another thing is the complexity of the grammar used. Yes, just use a simple English or a simple language that is easily understood by everyone. Let's go to the another thing is the background knowledge of the listener regarding the content. Yeah. So on the supporting materials, this is relating to the materials such as the pictures, the visual aids. Yeah. So let's go to ways of improving listening ability. So the first one is be audible. The speaker should always be audible so that the listener may follow up on whatever he or she is trying to communicate. Another thing is another
Seven,
another thing
two,
is
one.